Turn that up. Alright. Pukatsuki actually to my favorite PlayStation 2 Dragon Ball Z game of all time. That was the theme music for it. That's what we're gonna be having playing for this chapter. This is chapter number 5 of Dragon Ball X, guys. This is the last chapter of the Frieza arc. Um, I don't want to really spoil what the next arc is. I don't know. I might even do chapter 6 today. Um, to be honest with you, I don't. Let's put it like it's relative to this chapter or this arc slash saga. Just put it at that. Alright. Chapter 4 is Tora unleashes the Super Kaioken for the last time. Um, Tora grabs the supernova that Frieza launches at him, and he stops it, but he doesn't stop it from hitting Namek, and Namek, just like in the Frieza and Goku fight, Namek sadly, still gets hit to its core and everything explodes. But unlike this, because Tora actually had the chance to stop it, instead of 5 minutes, they have 10 minutes now in this fight. Really doesn't quite matter time wise. I don't know why I even added it in. I should have just said there's a certain amount of time, whatnot. But just because Tora was able to stop it somewhat, it's 10 minutes. Let me go ahead and get in the last line, the last sentence of the chapter 4. Alright. It's actually a page behind. Hold up. Tora clenched his fist and gave Frieza a look of anger in his eyes as he tells Frieza, "You're going to lose. This is the end for you." This is once Nail gets like destroyed by he gets death beamed by Frieza and he's on the ground like collapsed. He's done, and then they just gets done healing him after the supernova, and he masters Super Kaioken. Making his multiplier factor times 25 instead of times 20 or 20, because I do my zeros like that, but yeah, 20. And his power level also spiked up. So yeah, alright, let's go ahead and get into this. The time continues to click as they give each other a sharp stare. Right then, Frieza shoots a beam right at Tora's head. Tora barely dodges it, and as the beam scorches the top of his hair, Frieza swoops in and lands a devastating knee to the face of Tora as he is stunned and his head is swung back. Oh, and also, with the Super Kaioken, he can actually master it. So since he mastered it now, though it will put a huge strain on his body, he can hold it for as long as he can. And also the reason why, since he mastered it and whatnot, you would think, why is Frieza kicking his butt right now? Like I said, he just need Tora in the face. It's because right now Frieza's at 100%. So yeah, he swings his head back as he headbutts Frieza. Frieza, in great pain, holds his nose as Tora had just busted it. Busted Frieza's nose, man. Tora ain't playing no more. Tora sends an uppercut towards Frieza, and then Frieza grins and sends him flying with a hook. Tora then stops and looks at Frieza as he notices the power that Frieza truly had all along, because he's at 100%. Tora didn't expect nothing more, nothing less from the tyrant of the universe. The Tora charged a powerful Tiger Bomb in his hand, as Frieza did the same with a small death ball. Tora swung back and launched it and says, "Take this, Frieza." Frieza then launched the ball. Put up. Frieza then launched the ball. He also charged up as a huge ki struggle commences. Frieza as well as Tora struggled for an edge. Tora tried his best, but was not enough as Frieza won the struggle, but the more powerful ball barely was avoided by Tora as it hit a mountain nearby and turned it into a volcano. And things are just going crazy on Namek now. Tora rushed over at Frieza as they began, or as the began. hold on. Again, my grammar was not even like close to good on this. Again, guys, I was rush writing this the whole way through, and I still am. Tora rushed over at Frieza as they begin a blow after blow battle. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Tora was taking the most damage as he was barely landing something on Frieza. Frieza dodged one of Tora's attack and swung up with the uppercut to the jaw that caused Tora to fly straight up. Frieza flew up and choked grabbed Tora and throws Tora down into the ground bars, into the ever-destroying Namek. Tora got up at high speed, punched Frieza and again as he vanished and landed shot after shot. Tora took note that Frieza's defense was ever softening. Tora landed a small ki blast at Frieza that caused an explosion in the air. Frieza had his guard up and shook it off. As he went on the offensive again. Tora was blocking and evading most of what Frieza was delivering. Tora then swifted backwards as he tells Frieza, "You are becoming weaker and weaker by the minute. You simply cannot beat me in your current level of strength." Tora retracted to his base power and started to look for a ship to get off the planet with, leaving Frieza around. Frieza was so aggravated, so he decided to charge two key-like saucers in his hands. Frieza says, "Does the monkey want to play a little game before I kill you?" Tora looked back and saw what Frieza had and snapped into his Super Kaioken form. Frieza then threw both of the saucers at Tora. Tora avoided them the best he could, but was being hit at least 5 times with both. He was starting to lose power from running around so much, until Tora came up with a plan. And what I mean by he's getting hit by the saucers, I'm not saying he's getting cut in half each and every time. I'm saying like he's like barely dodging it, like scratching his arm or like skinning the side of his face, or it's like, you know what I mean, something like that. He stood in front of a mountain and waited for a saucer or both to come at him, then let one crash into the mountain. Tora found a mountain nearby and waited until one finally catched up, and his plan worked. Now he only had one till. Hold on. Now he only had one till with. Wait. Again, my grammar, guys, is like I can barely even read my own writing sometimes. Now he only had 1 and 2 till with before defeating Frieza once and for all. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Moments passed and the saucer was starting to get everywhere as Frieza glanced from afar and laughed. Tora then vanishes as Frieza was looking around confused and wondering where he was, till Tora quickly landed a sharp punch right in Frieza's midsection. Frieza grinned and shouted, "Got you now!" As the disc came at lightning speed, Tora realized in the nick of time the saucer was coming and did a graceful backflip. You know, it was just beautiful. A graceful backflip, right as it would have cut him in two. Frieza, stunned, was then received by the saucer, and he was the one cut in two. Frieza gasped as his body was then torn into 2 pieces. Frieza then fell to the ground with blood everywhere. It was a massacre. Tora then sighed with relief, and as his plan worked out. Then he looked at Frieza on the ground and says, "Who is the stupid monkey now?" Alright. Frieza spat out a lot of blood as his eyes started to turn a blank white. Tora says, "Your defeat You're defeated. There's no use of trying anymore. I win. Tora then figured he had about 2 minutes till Namek was done for. He then journeyed to find Dende now as he soared above. Frieza then, with all his might, says, I will kill you someday, somehow. You are still a low-class stupid monkey. The racial slurs in Dragon Ball are just too much, with the monkeys and the... I mean, I had to include it in this. Tora, angered that Frieza still continues to make insults, turns around and fires a powerful Tiger Wave that ends Frieza once and for all. Well, that's what he thought. That's what he thought. You know what I mean? Tora looks around, yet to find no trace of Nail and Dende, till from a distance a loud yell came from below. It was Dende. Tora descended and picked up Nail as they left to find a ship to get off the exploding Namek. About 1.5 minutes were left as Tora finally found the ship. Frieza's ship as they entered the craft. Tora ran into the main room as he tried to figure out all of the controls. Tora was left blind as he couldn't find the controls in time. It would take too long to figure out. There was about 35 seconds remaining and ticking as Tora remembered the tactic King Kai tried to teach him before he had left. It was a move developed by the Yardrats. It was known as the instant transmission. So again, guys, I kind of had to give Tora this move and kind of quickly, only because in this situation, gotta remember it's Dende, Nail, and Tora, and again with only so much time left, I had to think of something. Tora told Dende and the half alive Nail to grab onto his shoulders, and then in a flash they teleported to space right as Namek boiled down to his very own core and with a huge burst exploded. And they're in the ship, just let you know. The only reason why Dende and Nail had to grab on his shoulders is to make sure they also stayed on the ship with Tora. Tora looked over at Nail and Dende to see if they were okay from the aftershock of the explosion. Nail was still injured as Dende rushed over, then as it was a good time to finally heal him, Tora decided to try to figure out the controls as he mentally communicated with King Kai. Tora says Frieza is defeated, but I need to learn these controls. So tell those on Earth I shall return soon. King Kai told Kami that, then told the other Nameks in Popo and Bulma. Everything was at peace finally. Weeks had passed till Tora finally figured out the controls to navigate to Earth, and to send the ship flying. Back on Earth, the Nameks had made a living on Kami's lookout. Bulma was trying to find Tora as she was making a huge radar that would sense his body temperature or his body signal or his power level. I mean, hey. Tora, along with Dende and Nail, were weary from their travel before finally getting back to Earth. Bulma found them and told everyone the good news. Tora arrived 3.5 months since the defeat of Frieza and the explosion of Namek. The Elder Guru said it'll be about 3 months before next use of the Namek Dragon Balls. Tora made friends with the Nameks as time flew by. Hold up. Finally, 3 months had arrived, and the balls were placed on Kami's lookout. Porunga would make his next return. Tora and the others gathered around the balls as Dende called Porunga once again. Moments later, the sky darkens as the dragon Porunga appears. Porunga tells them they have 3 wishes. Tora then tells the Namekians to make their wishes. The Namekians ask for a new home. Wood and Porunga follows. The next is for expanding the life of Guru, so making Guru live longer because he is the guardian of Namek still. in this universe. Remember, this is Universe 4, guys. So things are just different. The last was to bring them to their new home world. The Namekians say thanks and their goodbyes. Then they goes up to Tor and personally thanks him for protecting him and keeping him safe. Before Porunga made it official, Nail stops Porunga and tells him to instead bring everyone but him. Nail thought he could become stronger with Tora and go back to Namek to protect it one day. All the Namekians left, and Tora, Nail, Bulma, Mr. Popo, and Kami were left on the lookout. The sky clears as the dragon vanishes. Tora decides to start training again, so he tells Nail to follow him to a place where they could get stronger for the future. Bulma then leaves to the Capsule Corp as Popo and Kami stay afoot the lookout. Tora and Nail eventually made it to the place where they would train for the next year. Tora tells Nail to get ready for a warm-up before the real training begins. Tora tells Nail to strike him and try to land one punch. Nail tried for about 10 minutes, swinging everything he had, till he rised up and shot an extremely powerful key wave that Tora sent away with ease. A moment passed as Nail figured this will be the hardest training of his life. He was training with a 13-year-old hybrid Saiyan Tuffle boy. Nail grinned as he leveled with Tora and shot multiple ki blasts right in Tora's direction. What I mean by leveled with Tora, as you know, let's say, and Tora's here and Nail's here. He just went up and leveled with Tora. That's what I mean by leveled. Tora advanced through the blast with no struggle at all. That ended with a shot to the midsection of Nail that almost knocked him out cold. Tora lies Nail on the ground of the cave where they were training and gave him a sensu bean. Tora got 11 sensu beans from Korin before heading out to the caves to start their rigorous training. A year's time had passed and Tora had Nail's training had ended. Tora got stronger, but not so much as Nail, who got significantly more stronger. Nail's power level went from about 42,000 to 900,000. Why 900,000 is because of a specific purpose in the next saga. Tora's power level went from about, remember, from the Zenkai boost from chapter 4, his power level went to 5.5 million, now it's at 6.5 million. Elsewhere, Kami on the lookout senses an outrageous power level and others heading towards Earth. Kami then tells Tora and Nail of what is going on as they come out of the cave from their 1-year training, because it's done now. Tora then senses the powers and so does Nail. Tora gets ready and as he senses a potentially higher power that is stronger than him. Tora tells Nail he is going to need him for backup. Nail then focuses his power so he can get ready for the upcoming battle. Bulma at the Capsule Corp is getting the Dragon Balls and on the radar and notices that one is located where Tora and Nail are training and decides to pay them a visit. Back at the exit of the cave, Tora and Nail await the menace that should approach soon. A moment or two passes as the spacecraft reaches Earth's atmosphere. The ship lands about a mile or two from Tora and Nail's location. Bulma, from a distance, also notices the craft as it lands. Tora and Nail decide to fly over and check it out. I don't know. I want to end this here, guys. I want to end it here because I don't want to get too far into the next chapter. Let's go ahead and end it here, guys. Yeah. Hold on. Let me go ahead and mark it. No, sure. Alright, hopefully y'all all enjoyed this. This is chapter 5 of Dragon Ball X. This might be my last chapter, only because, not like the last chapter, like, in the story, of course, but for a while, because I'm getting my cameras out, y'all. I told y'all before, I'm getting my camera fixed, so I might not be able to do these for another 10 days, depending on when I get this taken up. I try to do as many chapters as I can before I can leave. I want to space them out so y'all get the chance to check these out before I release another chapter. Um, I try to do these on the daily so y'all can watch one day and then the next, and don't have to, kind of focus on watching too many in one day. So yeah, this is chapter 5 of Dragon Ball X. Hopefully y'all have enjoyed this. I am Ultra Tiger 0425. Probably will be the only video I do for the day on this channel. I might do an episode 23 episode 23 review for Dragon Ball Super later on today. Because I'm doing some Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Dragon Ball Raging Blast gameplay on my gaming channel, Ultra Tiger Gaming. So go check that out as well. And hopefully you'll all have a wonderful day, and peace, man.